So when choosing a trap bar, there's basically 3 things that you need to be aware of. Number 1 is functionality. Number 2 is like quality of construction, safety, those sorts of things. And number 3 is price. Today, I'm gonna run through a tier list. This is basically gonna rank literally every trap bar on the market. There's probably a trap bar out there I've missed. If I have, let me know in the comments. I've tried to make sure I've gotten every trap bar that I think people are interested in. And there are many trap bars in here that honestly people aren't even interested in that I still want to rank. I'm going to be ranking them all the way from F up to S. So an S scale bar is like the best bars. Now, I've decided to include price because that's a huge component. If you'd like to see me do these lists in the future, let me know in the comments and on what type of product you'd like me to see me do. Also, would you like me to include price in the future? I'd like to hear that. But today, just so you know, I am including the value of the product. So there are some in the S tier that truly I think will surprise you. And there's probably some in the F tier and D tier and those tiers that this is gonna piss some companies off. But we're here with honest reviews. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, starting at the F tier. These are the bars that strictly I just don't recommend, and they're not always for safety purposes. Some include price, and I'll try to detail those. First one, I kind of feel bad for this, but first one is PRX. Here's the thing, when I say like this bar is an F tier, I'm not saying the company's an F tier. People are gonna get mad about it. I'm not saying the company sucks. I'm saying this bar at this price point with these features is one that I do not recommend. That is the PRX trap bar. Reason being, they're selling it for 230 bucks. They're also charging shipping for it, around 36 bucks or so to me in the Midwest. When you tally those up and combine it to what the bar is, it is way overpriced. It's essentially a cap trap bar at 45 pounds with really weak knurling and way overpriced. You'll see compared to other trap bar, it's basically just the standard trap bar, but I think it is way overpriced. PRX could actually come out with a really good trap bar. This one isn't it. The next one is American Barbell. And the reason this one is an F tier is because I kid you not, 365 bucks for the bar, but then I went to shipping. Shipping was 410 bucks. And just to make sure they weren't just including bad shipping for me here in Missouri, I also took the shipping for Ohio and other places, and it was still either 300 bucks, 400 bucks. So total, that bar was over 700 bucks, and it is not a $700 bar. So F tier for the American Barbell, dual height hex bar. Next, this one is honestly one of the more popular trap bars in the world. This is the last one in the F tier. I actually have some really, really cheap bars higher up in the list. I don't put this one because it's cheap. I put this one here because I think it's unsafe. It's the Cap Barbell OB93. Man, they have the most incredible, memorable names. You'll see this, there's a bunch of Cap barbells on here. Their names suck. Give me a real name. But it's the OB93 trap bar. This one's on Amazon for 60 bucks. It actually has pretty good reviews, except for certain ones. And the certain ones make me not recommend it, and that's because the design of the trap bar, if you lift very heavy, you have a possibility of snapping the welds. I kid you not. It's a welded bolt together bar. It's one I don't recommend, generally because more and more, I've seen more and more of them break. Initially, I was fine with it, but because I've seen so many of them break, I just don't recommend it. I think it's an F tier. Next to the D tier. So I have one company on here that you probably wouldn't expect. I actually put Sornex, the diamond bar and the double diamond bar in this tier. And the reason is not because they're not good trap bars. They're actually very good trap bars. The reason I put them there is because they're a basic design of a trap bar, similar to what Rogue's selling, but they're selling them for more, and I don't feel like they're better. So, and when you include shipping, that's another one that just gets Sornex. So, I mean, Sornex makes some of the best equipment in the world in some pieces, but these bars specifically, these are bars that really they want a government contract with, and the ACFT test, it's basically the Army test. They started using these. They're a good long-lasting bar, good powder coat, but they just have a really basic design that hasn't been updated for a long time. And when you compare the price to other options, even made in America options like Rogue, or to non-made in America options that have a similar design like Titan, or even the American made from Black Widow training that's less and is made in America and by a small shop that is cheaper, the prices just don't work out. So D tier. Next, Intech, the modular functional bar. I think this is a D tier bar. This is a bar that honestly I haven't used yet. There are some bars on here that I'm basing this on what I've seen online. I will tell you if it's one that I've just seen online and never put my hands on. But this is a D tier bar, I would say, because it's so expensive and because they're charging extra for different pieces that should be standard, like the feet that are on there, or they have this little function that basically makes it so it's rounded on your back so you can use it as a camber bar. It's an okay bar. Honestly, Intech was one of the first open trap bars with their functional, I forget what they called it. It was something different than this name, but it had angle arms and it was priced okay. It didn't have a jack stand. It was like one of the initial ones, and then the market was flooded with so many other open trap bars. But this one, for the price of $695 plus another $100, it's just not there for me. I think it's just overpriced. So D tier bar. Next, Elite FTS rackable trap bar. Elite FTS makes some amazing stuff, very high quality stuff. Again, this isn't just based on quality, it's based on functionality and value. I just think in comparison to what else is in the market, the value for that bar at $608 plus $36 to me in the US, making around $650, just slightly below. It's a solid bar, 70-pound bar, very heavy, very solid. But when you compare it to the other options that are out there, it just doesn't meet it for the functionality and price. So for you, it's a D bar. Next, still in the D, Titan Fitness Easy Load Hex Bar V2. The reason I'm putting this here, it's a decent design. They have the tri-handles that spin. There are many companies that have this design. So if you want this design, basically price shop them. Valor Fitness is another one that sells it. And there's others. It's an okay bar. Basically, it makes it so the plates are always off the ground just a little bit, so you don't have to jack it up to use it. It's always resting on the ground. But the bolt together construction, also I've just heard some poor reviews on it. Normally it's just okay. Also the price compared to other bars that Titan are selling that are trap bars that I think are better and not much more expensive or even less, for $230, it's just an okay bar. The D tier isn't like the worst in the world. I just think it's just, it doesn't make it for me. Next, we go to the C tier. The C tier are bars, again, many of these, it doesn't mean they're a bad bar. It's just, you got to decide if you want to spend the money on it for the features and functionality. But the C tier, one of these, smaller company, but a company, Dean Shantz is the founder, the creator of the company. I think he's doing some good stuff at Black Widow Training Gear. This is one that personally I haven't used yet, but many times people that I trust and that are in our home gym community recommended this bar. This is the rackable Hex bar. This is a made in USA bar by a small company, $295 with $55 shipping, $350 total. I've used Dean's knurling before. It's actually a high quality bar, C tier. Next, Vulcan Pro High Hex Trap Bar, $420. I'm not gonna say a ton about this one. I haven't used this one. I'm basing this on what I've seen online and other Vulcan products that I've used. It's C tier, just okay. Titan Fitness Hex Weight Bar for $160. The reason I put this here, this is probably the same exact bar that PRX is selling, by the way, which PRX is selling it for $229 plus shipping. Titan is selling it for $160. So pretty much the same exact bar. So it is in a higher tier, but this is pretty much the same also as Cap and other companies are selling. That is even less. So not a bad bar, a C rate. I mean, it's just an average bar. If you're gonna get a trap bar and you just want something basic, this is a fine option. I would just look for the cheapest price, and this one isn't the cheapest price, but generally it's gonna be okay. Then I actually put, I put the Titan Open Trap Bar as a C tier list too. Reason being, that bar it's an okay bar. There's just nothing outstanding about it. It's pretty heavy. It's also just massive. Thing is oversized. If you're gonna use it for farmer's carries or something like that, it's just like, you're basically turning like a Buick, man. It's just so big. So because of that, and because of just some of the fit and finish, the features, the price is pretty good at $350. It's just an okay bar. I wouldn't say it's like a B tier, A tier, S tier. It's in C because it's just okay. Then two that would probably surprise people. The reason I put these here is because just over time, they haven't improved. They've had these same bars and the prices have increased because of inflation. There's still a better price than some of the others on the list, but that's the Rogue TB1 and the TB2. There was a time that these were my top pick bars because they're really good, made in the USA, just a basic, well-done bar. The problem is there are so many bars that have come out since that Rogue just needs to update their bars. Their specialty bars just need to improve. So the TB1 and TB2, TB1, 325 bucks plus 84 bucks shipping to me in the Midwest. The TB2, 395 bucks. So they're cheaper and a very similar quality, fit and finish, all that stuff as what Sornix is selling. That's why I put them in a higher tier. And if you want a basic made in the USA bar, something like this one or the Sornex, I would recommend this Rogue one because it's cheaper. But these are good basic bars, but there's just nothing about them that just makes them stand out and say, wow, that's definitely a bar. Next, we're getting to the B tier. And one that kind of floats in between the B or C tier is actually gonna be the Cap OB88HZ. The reason I put this here is because this bar can be found at times for around 50 bucks. There have been times I've seen this bar for 50 bucks. So if you can find it for 50 bucks, this is, for a lot of you, just a great standard bar that you should get. It just works. It's gonna be able to do whatever kind of movements that you generally wanna do that a normal trap bar can do, not an open trap bar. But it's also gonna be very cheap. This is like, if you go to just about any home gym in the world and they have a trap bar, most of them are going to be this bar. So a lot of you, this is a bar I'd recommend, which is why I put it in the B or C tier. I have it floating though, because the price is so varied. I went on Amazon today and it was over 150 bucks. So like sometimes it's very cheap. Sometimes I think for 150 bucks, I probably wouldn't recommend it. So this one floats, just depends on the price. Next one is one that also floats between the B and C tier. And this one is a newer bar. It's not one I've been able to use yet. I've used a similar style bar to it from York and another company, but this one is the Kensui Tokyo Open Trap Bar. This is 300 bucks, free shipping. What's unique about it is it's not like a heavy duty trap bar. I wouldn't get this if you're lifting just a crazy amount of weight on a trap bar. Some of these are designed for those of you, like say the Sornex one or the Rogue one. If you're just lifting a crazy amount of weight, like those can handle everything. The Titan Open Trap Bar can handle 1,500 pounds, but most home gym owners want versatility over weight capacity. This is one that has a lot of versatility due to its design. So you can use it like a camber bar. You can also use it because it's an open design for things like seal rows or lunges. You can use it like a standard trap bar. They've knurled it in spots that matter, say like the top part that you would use for a camber bar. It's just got some unique features to it. I don't think it's like world changing, but the price combined with the features, I actually really like. Okay, then a few more in the B category. Another one from Titan, the Rackable Hex Trap Bar. This is basically Titan's dupe of the Rogue TB2. They offer it for 330 bucks with free shipping. So it's cheaper than Rogue, although it's imported. They fixed some of the knurling issues where now they're both knurled. It's just an okay bar. Honestly, it would float between B and C for me, similar to the Rogue one, because the Rogue isn't that much more. It just gets a lot more when you add on the shipping. But this is one that you can also find on sale often. Titan's often doing sales, and they're often doing sales specifically on this bar. Generally, if you're just looking for utility, you don't care about where it's from, this one is gonna be very similar performer because it's literally designed after the Rogue TB2 bar as the Rogue TB2 bar. That's why I'd rank it similar or a little bit higher because it's just a cheaper bar. Then the Bells of Steel Hex Bar 3.0. Bells of Steel used to have an industrial trap bar, which we reviewed, which had the gold sleeves. They've since gotten rid of that, which I'm okay with because it was 600 bucks. It was just way overpriced. They still sell though their Hex Bar 3.0 for 300 bucks. It's one of the cheapest open trap bars that's available. And for the price with the long sleeves that rotate, that are Olympic sleeves, it's actually a pretty good bar. So I'd actually rank it as a B ranking. Another one is the Balance from Olympic 2-inch Hex Bar. This is one that we reviewed that was actually 100 bucks from Walmart.com when we reviewed it. I actually looked at it this morning, it's 55 bucks. Has Olympic sleeves. It's basically very similar, if not the same thing as the Hex Bar 3.0. The problem with it is, number one, you don't really know what bar you're gonna get. There's a lot of people that have ordered this bar and it's been something way different, a different bar than what they've seen online. Also, there's a potential safety issue with using this bar because it's just the quality is pretty shoddy. If you're just gonna use it for trap bar deadlifts, probably not an issue, but I just worry about that steel snapping from a company like this for a $55 bar. But the reason I rank it from a company like Balance From, which is a company nobody's ever heard of, the reason I'd rank it high like this is because the price to features ratio. So that's the reason. So $55 bar, there's a ton you can get done with that. Then one that I'm putting as a preliminary B ranking, I say preliminary because it's not on the market yet. I don't know the price yet, but I was able to use it at the FIBO show, is the Gungner Trap Bar. I don't know the price on it yet. It's a cool design. It's unique in that it's a like half circle. You can use it like a camber bar, kinda. They said it wasn't necessarily designed for that, but I think you could get it done. The knurling is really well done, and it's got my favorite collar of all time, the Gungner titanium slide locks that are so well done, stainless steel sleeves. The price point based on Gungner's other bars may put it so it's lower ranking, but I'm just saying preliminary, I'm gonna give it a B rank. We'll see when it comes out. If you'd like to see a review, let me know in the comments and make sure you subscribe. Then another B ranking bar, Vulcan Aux Bar. The Vulcan Aux Bar is similar in design as the Eleiko bar, basically looks a lot like it. It's definitely a dupe in some way. It's 410 bucks with free shipping. I would put it as a B ranking. It's an okay bar. Like there's a bar that's similar to it that is gonna rank higher than it. Some of you probably already know what that is, but I'll tell you in a moment. But it's an okay bar. I don't think I've used that one yet, but based online and what I've seen from other people's reviews and the price, just okay. Okay, then last just full on B ranking is the French Sport Midas Trap Bar. This one is basically a combination of the Bells of Steel Hex Trap Bar they sell, along with the combination of the Bells of Steel Industrial Trap Bar they used to sell. The reason I say that, it's using the gold titanium sleeves that basically Bells of Steel used to use. It's shorter, compact, open trap bar, standard, like basically steel tubular design, not made to lift billions of pounds, but it's 300 bucks. And it's from French Sport, who honestly, French Sport's customer service is like, if you have an issue with French Sport, you will literally sometimes get the owner, Pete, on the phone because he cares so much about their company. So honestly, lifetime warranty, that kind of stuff for 300 bucks, it's definitely a B rank. It's a good bar. Then to that float, one of these floats between B and A and is one that honestly, dude, I just sleep on this company too much. I'd like to use more of their stuff. I think a lot of people do. Part of it is because they go through dealers. It's just like they don't sell direct, so you're just kind of dealing. They've more and more come online, but for a while it's like you basically just had to go to Push Pedal Pole or a company like that to buy them. But the Body Solid OTB 100 open-ended trap bar is 245 bucks, 1,000-pound weight capacity, decent looking knurl. Haven't been able to use it yet, but just telling online, square tubing. It's gonna be able to hold a lot of weight. It's 245 bucks. Like for a budget open-ended trap bar, that may be one of the best available. I gotta get it in. So I wanna get it in and do a full review. Let me know if you'd like to see that. Then we're at the A tier. So one that I think would float, and part of this is because I would still like to use it, is the Prime Fitness Trap Bar. The Prime Fitness Trap Bar, this is either an A or B tier. Part of the reason is because it's so expensive. It's a very expensive bar, 775 bucks plus 70 bucks, but it does have some things that other companies don't. One of those is the different handle attachments that go in very quickly, and you can adjust height. And those handle attachments can use the CAS handles, which are just the most over-the-top bougie handle, which by the way would be an absolute grip killer because they're fat, they're massive, but they're like a cone shape. I've got them as a cable attachment, very nice. Another one would be the paddle handles they use, which would actually probably feel pretty good for a deadlift or like bent over rows. That'd be kind of nice, and you could buy those and just quickly change them out. But this is one that I'd like to get in and do a full review on. If you'd like to see that, I know people have over the years. Let me know in the comments, and it may change my mind to go higher. But for now, I'm listing it between A and B. Okay, and then the last one in the A ranking, and this one was hard. I mean, this one would float, honestly, between S and A. I'm just gonna say, that's the Kabuki Trap Bar HD. There was a time that this was my most favorite trap bar. The problem is twofold. One is they took away the way for it to be balanced. So it's now dumps forward. And it's a pretty expensive bar to be dumped forward. Last I knew, it was $750 plus $115 shipping. I say last I knew because their site, they're going through like a reshuffle. They're now Kabuki Power. I don't know if their products are gonna be less or more. Chris Duffin reached out to me, said their products should probably be less actually. So that may change this ranking to an S. But for the price, it's a fantastic bar, but it does dump forward and it's not rackable. So those are two things to me. They're just like, the knurling's incredible. It's also a very heavy bar, 30 kilograms, but it's a fantastic bar. If you got the bar, I know you probably love it. It's a great bar. It's just floating right now. I really want to see what price it comes out when it comes out, and I would love it if they made it balanced. Please make it balanced. I get probably has to do with the lawsuit, but there's other bars that balance that aren't a Eleiko, and maybe they just like don't care about getting sued or something. But man, I would love it if that bar is balanced. Now to the S tier. These are the bars that I think are the best. There's basically 3 bars left that I would put in the S tier, and some of you may already know them, but one of them, Rep Open Trap Bar. I say that's S tier. Reason being, just the ability to take the handles off and use it like a camber bar makes that bar so versatile. It's all just in use, a really good bar, and price $400. Like Rep just killed it with that one. They added the knurling for the camber. Honestly, I like using it as a camber bar as much as I do use a trap bar. Like it just feels like an old bully dog bar, but it's also rackable. It just features everything everybody wants with the jack stand. Tremendous bar, $400, S tier. Next one, Eleiko Oppen Bar. I love that bar. Honestly, this one was hard for me because of the price. It could definitely be in that A tier for a lot of you, and maybe for me, but that's my favorite bar. That's my favorite trap bar, so that's the one I use the most. I love that trap bar. Some people wouldn't like it because of the shortened sleeves. You can't fit as much weight if you're using thicker bumpers, but it holds enough weight for the training I'm doing with it. I just use thinner bumpers. I just love that bar. Quality, fit, and finish, but man, is it pricey. Honestly, in many ways, it's overpriced for most of you. I wouldn't recommend it for a lot of you, but it's just the quality and fit and finish and use. It's just so good. I love that bar. So that may float between A and S, but I'm gonna put it for S. And then the last one, honestly, this is the bar that I think is probably the best for most of you watching, this one or the Rep one. But this one, the Giant Northland Bar. Yes! The Giant Northland Bar, $330. It's a Eleiko dupe. They keep improving on it with things that I like in our critiques. They went back to the drawing board, added knurl marks now, the Knurlings Volcano, offering 2 different size handles. I mean, that's a hard bar to beat, man. Balanced. S tier isn't just the creme de la gym. S tier is like some of the best design with value options. Giant killed it with that bar. It just did. And the price. I just want to give a caveat to the balance component. It's sometimes balanced, depending on which orientation of the handles. I haven't used the brand new version, so I'm hoping it's balanced. If they made it not balanced, it would still be S tier for me, but man, you gotta make those balanced. If we're talking a double S tier bar, and bars that like I wanna see, one of them, I wanna see the Cleva built trap bar. It's one I've seen like a little bit of. I don't think he sells it yet, but it's a pretty cool design. I'd like to use that one. Man, a double S tier bar. This would be a double S tier bar. Open-ended design, similar to the Rep trap bar, but the handles would have an easier mechanism for changing in and out. That's definitely got to happen because the Rep trap bar, they call it toolless. It's not. It's not a toolless design. It's got like this weird hash marks for texture for turning the nut for the handle, but you got to get that Allen key out. Honestly, they should be like Festool and include an Allen key like somewhere stuck inside. That'd be cool, so you can just quickly take it out. But it'd be that design, so a little bit shorter sleeves, a little bit shorter bar overall. It would be angled, so not a full square, but kind of angled, because when you're grabbing that for the camber bar, it just feels a little bit off. I would include knurling all the way across. Reason being, I use that camber bar a lot for bench. So having that knurling and shoulder press, having that knurling all the way across would be nice. And then if you made the center knurl a little bit more passive, like we're talking just like up there, and it would be $1. Actually, they would pay you to take it. No, I'm just kidding. But if you're just talking like design, that would be a freaking, which like Rep, if they made a modification to make those handles easier to change out, that would just be, whoo. I would love that. Because going from the trap bar to the camber bar, it's just a little bit of, it's 2 in 1. Woo! All right, that's the tier list. That was exhaustive. I like, some of you guys are always like, Coop, I wish you would just do like more exhaustive. That's an exhaustive video. If you like that, give me a thumbs up so I know it, and also let me know in the comments you liked it and what other ones you'd like to see. If you didn't like the length of it, let me know in the comments too, because I can shorten these up in the future. That's the tier list for the trap bar. Some of these companies, I'm sorry, it's just honest, but you'd probably rank higher in other categories. If you'd like to see other categories, let me know in the comments. This has been Coop. Garage Reviews. See you next time. Peace.